let's start with the switches. So I know it's taken quite a while to get me in focus, but I think it would be better if we're just going to focus down on the table here so I can show you them in a bit more detail. So really, I mean, let's just get it sorted. So what we've got here is a catalogue, and I've got a selection of switches. Now, you've probably seen in the new catalogue, I'm sure you all have, you know, there's lots of different pages of switches. We have things like momentary push switches, then we have the kind of switches which I would recommend for using as power switches, and then we've got other more sensory switches like tilt switches. So if you do have a catalogue, the switches I'm going to show you now is on page 70. You can see this very well. Is that upside down? I'm not sure, quite. That's the right around, isn't it? Yeah. So it's these switches here. So there's quite a selection. Some are very cheap. Some have got advantage. You know, have got a benefit in that you can mount them easily because they only need a circular hole, so you can just drill a hole in your case. So let's get some of these switches out, and I'll show you what they look like. So now the reason we don't often supply switches with our projects is because we've tended to find that everyone wants a different switch depending on how they want to make their project or their enclosure look. So we generally don't include them, but you know, then people can pick or buy the switch which best suits their application. So we've got a range here, so I'm going to get these all out in a second and show you the differences. But these are all switches where you know, you can turn them on, leave them on, you don't have to hold them down. Start with this one here. This is probably the most popular switch we sell. I think the reason for that is it's the cheapest switch we sell. But it is a good switch, and it's you know, a very easy way if you want to, you know, add a power switch, something like an amplifier or something else. So what we've got here, you can see it's quite well. It's are we in focus? Yeah. Just zoom in a little bit on that for me, Michael. Cheers. Is that blurring? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's got 2 rows of legs. So you could, each row is independent from the other row. So you've got a center common, and then use either of the outside ones to form a circuit. So when it sits above them, the 2 pins are connected. And when it sits above those, the common and the other side is connected through. It's quite a nice little switch. You can mount it with, I think there's M2 screws. It's already threaded, so you can screw it straight in. You could just drill a hole for that to sit in, or you could, you know, you could actually shape it if you've got a laser cutter or something, so that the profile perfectly matches what you're trying to do. That's a great little switch. I think these work out about 10 pence each, so they're really popular. So that's a good switch. Now, if you wanted to add that into a circuit, you think, well, where would I actually put it? So I'm going to get out one of our night lights, which I'm actually going to demonstrate in a minute. But this could be, most circuits that we supply would come with something like one of these PP3 snaps. So the easy way to add the power switch is you could just take the red wire, cut the switch, and then you would cut the wire, and then you would add the switch in series. So then obviously, you know, if the switch is open, the circuit would be off. You close the switch, and the circuit's then powered. So I mean, it's just literally as simple as that. You just cut the wire, strip the ends back, and solder the switch you would like in, and off you go. I mean, we do have a few kits where there are built switches built onto them, but you know, most of them we don't supply a switch. But you can add any of the switches I'm about to show you could add in. So yeah, we've gone through sort of this switch. There is a bigger version. If for some reason you want to have a larger, or you find that's a little bit small to solder to, you can see the difference in size. It's not always apparent, I don't think, in a catalogue, the differences. It's identical to the switch I showed you a minute ago, just a much bigger version. So again, in this one, obviously you'd have a larger screw size to mount into your case. But again, that's a popular switch. So they're just standard slide switches. So obviously you slide it to turn it on. Then we have this power switch, which is in the kind of what we call rocker switches. So we call it a rocker switch because the actuator rocks. You've seen these kind of things. This switch is different to the one I showed you a minute ago in that it snaps into place. So if you can see these little springy bits on the outside, what happens is you would cut a cutout into your enclosure that matches this internal profile. You push your switch in, and then these snap in, and hold the switch securely in place. And the little bezel bit is wider, so it would cover, neatly covers the cutout. It's quite nice, and it's got an on and off, so you can see which, if it's on, you've got the straight dash, or the circle for the off. Two terminals, and you just solder that in series, so that's a nice little switch. We also do a similar rocker switch to that, but we do it with a circular profile. And this is good if you haven't got access to things like CNC machine laser cutters, or you're just not as good with a file. These are great because you could just literally drill a relevant size hole and you snap it in. This one doesn't have the on and the off, but it's quite easy to work out. You use multimeter on there, which is the on or off position if you want to mount it in a particular way. Again, it's got the snap fit, so you drill the right size hole, push it in, snaps into position, and you can see, I don't know if you can see this very well on the camera, but down one side there is a slight notch. So you drill your hole, file. Can you see that there? Is it clear on there? Yeah. The notch is just here. What that would do, it stops the switch rotating in the hole once you put it in position. So you drill your hole, file a very small notch in the position you want, and that would hold it. So whichever orientation you want it to be, and it then won't move. So that's again another little switch. And then the other type of switch which we sell a lot of is a toggle switch. These are a bit kind of 80s mission control kind of style switch, but they're very popular. And so again, this is just a 2-terminal switch. This is a miniature version. We do a larger version. Let's get one of these out. This is slightly bigger. This has got a common so it's like the first switch we showed you. There's a common, and then there's you can use either or the other end. So one will be normally open, one will be normally closed, and it will reverse when you switch the switch. But yeah, I mean, they're almost coming back into fashion a little bit, I think, now, sort of the styling of them. But these are really, really simple to mount in that all you need to do comes with a couple of screws and a vibration-proof washer. You would just drill a hole that matches that thread size that's there. Slide it into the hole, and then you secure it in position using the nuts that come with the switch. So, I mean, there's a variety of different switches there, but I think any of them would do the job. It's just down to personal preference. But you can see there's a whole lot to choose from, and we do seem to be increasing the range of switches all the time. So if you're looking for a different style of switch, you can always let us know and we'll see if we can get it for you. But yeah, that's some of the most popular power switches. So if you've got a project and you're looking to add a power switch, they're the ones we'd recommend.